The conquest of Egypt by the Ottoman Empire in the 16th century was a pivotal event in the region's history. The story begins with the decline of the Mamluk Sultanate, the ruling power in Egypt at the time. The Mamluks were a warrior class of slave soldiers who had ruled Egypt for centuries, but in 1516, the Ottoman Sultan Selim I, known as Selim the Grim, launched a campaign to expand his empire into the Middle East. Egypt, with its strategic location and wealth, was a prime target. The Mamluk Sultanate was weakened by internal divisions, making it vulnerable to external invasion. Selim's forces, led by his capable generals, marched into Egypt and quickly overwhelmed the Mamluk army. The decisive battle took place at Marj Dabik, where the Ottomans inflicted a crushing defeat on the Mamluks. With their military might shattered, the Mamluk rulers were forced to surrender. The conquest of Egypt was swift and relatively bloodless, largely due to the overwhelming superiority of the Ottoman military. Selim's troops were well-trained and well-equipped, while the Mamluks were unable to mount an effective resistance. Within a year of the invasion, Egypt had fallen under Ott. Selim appointed a governor to rule Egypt on his behalf, establishing the province an integral part of the Ottoman Empire. The conquest brought significant changes to Egyptian society and administration, as Ottoman institutions were introduced and Turkish became the language of government. The Ottoman conquest of Egypt had far-reaching consequences for the region, marking the beginning of Ottoman rule that would last for centuries. It also facilitated the expansion of Ottoman influence into the wider Middle East, laying the groundwork for the empire's status as a dominant power in the early 16th century. Egypt was ruled by the Mamluks, a warrior class of slave soldiers who had controlled the region for centuries. However, the Mamluk Sultanate was weakened by internal conflicts, rivalries among the Mamluk Beys, military leaders, and economic instability. This created an op. Selim I, the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, sought to expand his empire's influence into the Middle East. He aimed to consolidate control over strategic territories and key trade routes. Egypt, with its wealth, fertile land, and strategic location as the gateway between Europe and Asia, was crucial. In 1516, Selim I launched a military campaign against the Mamluk Sultanate. He assembled a formidable army, including elite Janissary troops, artillery, and cavalry, under the command of skilled generals such as Sinan Pasha and Hadim Sinan Pasha. The Ottoman forces advanced swiftly into Egypt, facing minimal resistance from the fragmented and disorganized Mamluk armies. Key battles, such as the Battle of Marj Dabik and the Battle of Rudania, resulted in decisive Ottoman victories. By January 1517, the Ottomans reached Cairo, the capital of the Mamluk Sultanate. Facing overwhelming Ottoman forces and recognizing the futility of continued resistance, the Mamluk Sultan Al-Ashraf Chuman Bey surrendered without a major confrontation. This effectively marked the end of Mamluk rule. With the fall of Cairo, Selim I established direct Ottoman control over Egypt. He appointed a governor, known as the Beylerbeyi or Pasha, to oversee the administration of the province. The Ottoman system of governance, with its administrative hierarchy and tax collection mechanisms, was implemented. The Ottoman conquest of Egypt had profound and lasting effects on the region. It integrated Egypt into the Ottoman Empire, transforming its political, social, and economic landscape. Ottoman rule brought stability, centralized administration, and cultural exchange to Egypt, but it also introduced an